Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back. Glad to get another live stream in with everyone. How's everybody doing today? Good morning or good day, depending on where you're from. Hope everybody's week is going well so far. Hope everybody's day is going well so far. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Take a minute to say hi to the community, and say what's up to everyone, and then we will get into some of the information. Give people another minute or so to join, and we will start to get into it. Hope everybody's day is going well so far. Hope everybody's week is going well so far. Got another New York AM session coming up here in about 10 minutes. We'll say hi to the community, and then we will jump into the information. Righty, good morning, Knox. Good morning, Mario. Good morning, Uturo. Sam. Nazar. Darts. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Jessa, good morning. Mike. Patrick, what's up? One Girl Trader, good morning. Pete, good morning. Anna, good morning. HMH, hello. Tatiana, hello. Meki, good morning. Carol, good morning. Luke, what's up? Valentine, what's up? Mista, what's up? Rama, what's up? Coffee, good morning. Fair Value God, of course, you've been waiting on that one. I highly appreciate it, brother. Thank you for helping me set that up. We're very appreciated. Let's celebrate the first super. That's pretty cool. Dave helped me set up the supers. this past week for the YouTube live stream, so I'm very grateful for him. Good morning, Antonio. Tad, what's up? Mike, good morning. Sari, good morning. Gabriel, good morning. Jaden, what's up? Christina, good morning. Jerome, good morning. Mick, good morning. Gaetano, Livy, Nico, good morning, good morning, good morning. Jared, what's up? Atman, good morning. Christian, good morning. Bert, good morning. Lucas, Cam F, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Ash, Mets or Yankees or don't care. It would be pretty freaking cool if both of the New York teams went to the championship, but I would have to go with the Yankees if they did. Morning, Mr. Beach. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's week is going well. Hope everybody's day is going well. As always, we got to start the week on the economic calendar. Start the day on the economic calendar. Let's go take a look. Pretty slow week, in my opinion. Very little red folder news. Looks like tomorrow is our only red folder. So I would not be surprised if the driver of the week is tomorrow. Seeing that there is no red folder news, it's a time to be more patient and selective than normal. Doesn't mean that we cannot trade. It's just, in my opinion, a time to be more patient and selective than normal. Red folder news is our important times of the day. We want that volatility injection. Volatility is what makes the P&L go up and down, so that is why we need the volatility. It's not that there won't be volatility on days that don't have red folders. It's just that when there is a red folder, you know the time in which the volatility is going to be injected. So in terms of probabilities, we at least have an educated decision in terms of understanding time. Nonetheless, the New York Stock Exchange opening at 9:30 happens every single day, so that's why you always see me get on here before New York Open, because the stock market open is also always going to be an important time. 9:30 opening is always going to see volatility, just like how these red folders will see volatility. So knowing the important times of the day helps us engage with the market. Seeing that today we have no red folders, we'll focus on 9:30, see if we get anything at 9:30. Other than that, we will understand that being more selective and patient today makes sense. Seeing that tomorrow looks like it may be the driver of the week. So, I'm not concerned with the orange folders. I'm not concerned with the gray folders. Actually, let me organize that statement a little better. Because Monday was a bank holiday, right? So I am concerned with a bank holiday. Bank holidays are a day that I don't participate. There's normally less volatility during bank holidays. I know that this past Monday saw a decent move, but that does not happen all the time. So just like how I don't participate on CPI, FOMC, Wednesday to Thursday of non-farm payroll, I also don't participate on bank holidays. So gray folder, bank holidays is something to keep an eye on. Other than that, it is the red folders that matter. So understanding the important times of the day, we can then get over to the chart, start analyzing the chart. Before we do that, just give me 2 seconds. I'd like to take another sip of my coffee. right, thank you for your patience. Now we'll start to get ready for New York Open. Take a look at price action, see what it is delivering, get a bias for the day, get prepared for the session. Point being, just like any other live stream, you have to create a plan. That way you understand what you're looking to execute. Create that plan, execute that plan. That is what provides the logic to your decision making. You can see that we use the same concepts day in and day out. So just a matter of going through the content to understand how we view the market. Nonetheless, let's start to get into the information now. First thing that I'm looking at here for NQ is the fact that price ran above a swing high. Price ran above a swing high. We understand that this is an external liquidity. When price runs above a swing high, we are bearish. We are looking for a move back internal. So this is what we're looking for here. We can even have a level of validation or invalidation, as this is a bearish change in the state of delivery here. Right, so we can move forward with the logic of stating we would have a bearish bias for the reasoning of price running above a swing high, which means it grabbed liquidity. After it ran above the swing high, we got a bearish change in the state of delivery as yesterday's daily candle closed below Monday's opening price. Now we can move forward with the logic of the bearish change in the state of delivery can be our line in the sand. Price respects the bearish change in the state of delivery. We can look for our lower prices from our bias. If price does not respect this line, right, just goes right through it and continues higher, then that would be invalidation to the bias. So bias being a move from external back internal because we ran above the swing high. Level of validation or invalidation will be bearish change in the state of delivery. Have I tried maple syrup in the coffee yet? Actually, honey is better. I normally drink it black with honey. It's amazing. Trust me, you should try it. Honey is also a good natural energizer. So now that we have a bias, we can come down to our market structure time frame. And we can look for any type of signatures in price that align with that idea. Right, so the first thing that catches my eye is this right here. Maybe, yes, didn't sweep it. But I was looking at this as being SMT here, right? NQ's making a lower high. It looks like, okay, yes, didn't sweep it. So it was very close to SMT. But this looks like bearish SMT here. The other thing I was going to point to was the hourly. Look at what it's reacting to. Right? So if price is respecting bearish FVGs in a bearish bias, that would warrant us lower prices. And that's what we're looking for. We'll go in and see if there's any entry function. Okay, so it looks like we're getting the direction of price correct, but they are leaving without us because we can see a continuation breaker here, but there is no FVG aligned with it, right? So in terms of me executing my model, which is the unicorn, right? This doesn't have an FVG aligned with it. So it's only a breaker block. There's a difference between a breaker block and a unicorn. The unicorn is a breaker block plus an FVG. So since this is only a breaker, I'm not interested in using it, is what I'm saying. Take that back off. Nice move lower, less. Like bias was correct. Right, so, and here's the thing. There's nothing internal to reach for, right? We talk about external to internal, but there is no FVG in here, right? No FVG, no FVG. So we can look at the next form of liquidity, right? Because price is only ever doing two things, right? It's either rebalancing an imbalance, which is an FVG, or it's running to liquidity, right? So if there's no FVG in here, then here's the liquidity. Oh. Previous week low being drawn liquidity, essentially. See what happens when or if previous day low gets swept. Does it get bought up below previous day low or not? Yeah, still has nice equal lows at previous day low as well. All right, so some opening analysis. Nice to see the move lower. Nothing for me to instantly jump into in terms of a position. Right, we can sit here and talk about logic. We can talk about bias. That doesn't mean that you instantly just go in executing whatever. You still have a model, right? You still have an entry function. So even if you have a bias and the bias is correct, if you don't have an entry function to engage with price, that doesn't warrant you engaging with price. Okay, so like what I'm trying to say is impulse control. How well will you be at controlling your impulses, right? Because it's going to make a difference in your results. There will be times where you get the bias correct, but you don't get an entry function. Oh well. There will be a time where you get bias incorrect and you don't get an entry function. Right, you're going to see all types of scenarios. There's going to be types of scenarios where you get the bias correct, yet you get stopped out. You have to be objective to all the results. Where I'm going with that is that you have to fall in love with the process, allow the results to be a byproduct of it, because process is what our justifications to our actions are. If I didn't point to those things on the daily chart, then I wouldn't have said that I was looking for lower prices, right? Those are the justifications to my actions. So now that we're getting lower prices, great. Love to see that bias was correct for New York Open. But I'm not going to sit here and go outside of my model. So we can continue to wait. We'll see what happens. Just the open so far. Previous day low is down here. Go run. See what happens at previous day low. This is the low we're looking for on ES. And now, as we're waiting and watching price, we'll get over to the chat. If you want to ask any questions, go over any information, throw it in chat as we're sitting here waiting and watching price. My impulse just blew an eval. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's not trying to use you as an example, but it's the operator that makes a model profitable. The battle is really won within the mind. It's not going to be a, signal service that makes or breaks you. It's not going to be, education that makes or breaks you. What's going to make or break you is your ability to have emotional and mental intelligence. Like, risk management always has to be the #1 priority at all times. I just don't leave the hourly time frame until my POI is hit. Yeah, see that? There's your form of impulse control right there. And if you can find discipline in that, you'll realize how valuable that is. Following a model is easy. Keeping your head straight while doing it is the hard part. Yep. I mean, you said that perfectly. I could give the model, I could give the unicorn model, right? It's on my YouTube. It's in my Discord. It's on my Twitter. It's on every single social media. I could give that model to 10 different people and get 10 different results. It's because it's the operator. It will always come down to the operator. Can you please teach about maps? Yes, we were going to talk about stat maps at one point today. It just was going to be after I watched New York Open. I am a New York Open futures trader, so this is my time to be hunting. I need to spend my time with my session so that I can gain more conviction. Every single day is another day to gain experience, and that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to see the results of my information, and then we can look at stat map, right? So for example, for everybody that was here in the beginning of the stream, I was calling for lower prices, right? We're getting those lower prices. If we go down to the target, then I'm not going to look for lower prices anymore, right? I'm not willing to short below the lows, right? If you have a bearish bias, you short above the highs. So the fact that New York Open did not give us a Judas swing higher, right, to then set up our entry function to then enter for the draw on liquidity is why I'm saying I don't have any executions. I'm happy to see that the bias was correct. I'm happy to see that the draw on liquidity was correct. But since my entry function was not on the screen at the time of my hunting hours, I didn't have a position. And I'm okay with that. So, see if we will get the tag to the draw on liquidity. If we do, then we will start to take a look at stat map. Just a quick, brief intro to it. It is a new indicator that I'm doing research on. I've only done I'm in my 3rd week of the research. The purpose that I'm looking at the stat map is that I'm looking to use it for my higher time frame levels. Right, I always look to execute my entry function from a higher time frame level. If the higher time frame levels can be automated by the stat map, that would make my process of executing my model more efficient. So I'll send the link to the chat now. This is the stat map, and we will talk about it after we watch a little bit more of New York Open. I just linked the stat map and the tools in the chat. For anybody that's going to look at this, I also have a discount code for 20%. So here's the discount code as well. So we'll talk more in depth with it, and I have a bit of a surprise. Hopefully I won't be leaking too much, but we have an individual that we are going to speak to regarding some of the research they've done with the stat map, and I think everybody will highly enjoy the conversation we have regarding the stat map with this other individual. Not going to leak it just yet, but wait, take a look at the announcements in the Discord or check my Twitter. You'll see the collaboration coming up shortly. So beautiful move lower this morning. We have here 60 down to almost 100-point move here. That was just beautiful, to say the least. Whether we get the tag of the liquidity or not, still not looking to short down here, right? Short above old highs, long below old lows. So even though the bias was correct and we got the move lower, I'm no longer willing to short. Okay, when you get a 100-point move in the direction that you're looking for, and you're trying to force another 100 points, that's lower probability. Okay, so it's a shame that this wasn't the unicorn here, right? Pointed out this breaker block, but there is no FVG aligned with it. So this continuation breaker right here, they just left it open because they didn't even retest it either. So they just ran it right to the draw on liquidity. Yes. No FVG aligned. Yeah, Luke, we're gonna have an interview with an individual that has done even more research on the topic than I have. I'm in my 3rd week of doing my due diligence. I'm putting the information together to present it to all of you. Like, I'm documenting my experience with it. So when I go to have this interview with this individual next week, we'll be able to have some very clear, concise information regarding it. Essentially, it's a tool that I will be using to automate my higher time frame levels, right? I get a bias from the daily, then I go to the market structure time frame to look for higher time frame levels to execute my entry function aligned with my bias. Now, if I were to have the stat map provide that automatically, that makes my process more efficient because I don't have to look for the stat map. Excuse me, I don't have to look for the higher time frame level because of the stat map. Right, so just like how you were saying earlier, yeah, that'll be the next student stage on next Friday. But like how you were saying earlier, right, you're just sitting there waiting for price to get to your point of interest. That's the same exact thing here. It just automatically gives you that point of interest, and if you can just wait for price to get there before executing, then once price gets to that higher time frame level, then you just search for your entry function. So now that our analysis has been completed, right? We had a bearish bias. We had a draw on liquidity. They decided to waterfall this thing, right? Like, they gave us no opportunity at all. Let's just run it lower as fast as possible without giving any form of entry. We're just going to dump it completely. Right? I'm happy to see that the analysis was correct, but didn't get an entry. That's okay. So here you go. This explains the bias for anybody that was not here in the beginning of the review or the live stream. Sweep of the swing high. After the swing high was swept, Bearish change in the state of delivery. Ever since the bearish change in the state of delivery, lower prices. So. Yeah, 401k, not happy with that one. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to take another sip of coffee, and then we will get into an example of the stat map. All right. Thank you for your patience. All right. Once again, before we move over to the example, my bias has been completed. Right. I'm done. My objective for the session is done now. I don't need to continue to analyze. What I was looking for has happened. So now I'm going to move to the sideline. Okay. Before we go take a look at the example, you got to be cautious that this right here is SMT now. Right. And Q swept it. ES did not. So careful of that being SMT. Another reason why I'm saying I'm done. My analysis that I was looking for has been completed. NQ completed the objective. ES did not. In fact, they might turn it into SMT. Too early to tell. But another reason why I'm saying that I'm done and moving to the sideline, because you don't want to short after we run an old low along with a potential SMT. So love to see that the bias was correct. Love to see that we got the move to the draw on liquidity. Just because we did not get a position does not mean we did not gain more experience, gain more conviction. Beautiful analysis this morning. Let's move over to EU. Was a long from this morning. Okay, and this is going to be the example of the stat map. So I'm just going to speak about the stat map in regards to my own model and how I would be using it and how I've been doing my due diligence on it. So my process always remains the same, right? The day always starts on the daily chart. I look to see where is price currently located on the daily chart. Is it located above a swing high? Excuse me. Is price located above a swing high or inside of a bearish FEG? That would give me a bearish bias. Is price located below a swing low or inside of a bullish FEG? That would give me a bullish bias, right? So swing low, bullish FEG, daily chart. That would give me a bullish bias. So now let's go in and look, see what price did when it was located below the swing low. Here is the daily swing low. Mark it out. Right? So when I have a bullish bias, I'm looking at a higher time frame level to execute a bullish unicorn. Now this is where the stat map would come in for me and my model. I would then turn on the stat map to look for a level to execute off of. Right, so now the stat map is on. You could see the different levels that it's providing. There's a manipulation level here, the daily open, another manipulation level here. So seeing that, during London session, right, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., right, I'm still not changing any part of my model, simply just trying to automate it. Knowing that I have a bullish bias from the daily, I would then go into London Open looking for a bullish unicorn. I would want to execute a bullish unicorn from a higher time frame level. So seeing that, price came down to the stat map level, and at the stat map level, it provided a stop hunt, right? First criteria to our entry function. Stop hunt. After the stop hunt occurs, you get displacement through the breaker block, which is the highest up close candle before the leg down that took liquidity, right? And then you need to have an FVG aligned with it. So here's your FVG right in here. So in terms of my model, I'm just looking for my model to present at a higher time frame level, that higher time frame level being the stat map. Now imagine if after you confirmed your criteria, so anytime after 310, your entry function has been confirmed, aligned with your bias at a higher time frame level. So any of these are entries: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have so many entries within your model at a higher time frame level, aligned with your bias, right? So stop loss would go below here, and you aim for 1 to 2. Right, so this is the reasoning to using the stat map. Not changing any part of the model. Everything remains the same. It's just slightly automated by using the stat map. So, quick review of the stat map as well. This is just incredible to see this here. I mean, look at how it reacts to this level. That's just incredible. The amount of times that I've seen my entry function occur at one of these stat map levels is quite astonishing. So I will keep you guys updated regarding the research I find with this tool, but that is a quick review of it. I posted the link of it in the chat along with the discount code. Stat map. So let's go back to NQ, see if getting anything else here. Just a nice waterfall. That's about it. Where can I get this stat map? Put the Sunny. Also, you code Ash for here are the settings to that map. There we go. So I believe. Oh, this is the wrong. What? Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry for the confusion. Here are the settings that I'm using for the stat map. I only have the 1-day chart checked off here. Labels are on. I did not extend the lines until close. Not using midnight open. Last time I'll mention it, and then back to our own conversation. We're going to have an interview with another individual next Friday regarding all of the information that we have found during our review of the stat map. So if you have any questions or comments, wait for that interview. I will make announcements showing it soon. We'll have more information on this shortly. Yes, so it points out higher time frame levels. All right, so does anybody have any questions or comments regarding the analysis this morning? We can go into a bit of a Q&A since we have no entry function to watch. Talk about the analysis or any information or questions that you have. Hey Ash, what trading view plan do you have? Pretty sure I have like the pro plan with the CME data. Mike, I've done many back tests, both unicorn related and not unicorn related, so it's hard to tell what you're talking about. I've done both. Yeah, the unicorn model is the only model that I use. That is my entry function. Yep. Hi Ash, for breaker blocks, is it gonna always be between the stop hunt and the price that swept liquidity? Yes, every time. So here you go, right here. Right, here's a long. Here's a short. Right, so to answer your question, here's the stop hunt. Here's the stop hunt. Breaker block will always be found in this leg right here. Breaker block will always be found in this leg right here. That is correct. Would you consider a continuation unicorn to go lower in the session? No, I do not short below old lows. Right, this was my draw on liquidity. Now that we have completed the draw on liquidity, I'm no longer interested in executing. So if there is a continuation unicorn, I will not be taking it. How many pairs do I trade? I really only focus on ES and NQ. There has been a very small amount of times, but I have executed oil before, CL. So very, very small amount of times, but I mainly focus on ES and NQ. I don't use any indicators to find the unicorn model. I've always put it on the chart manually myself because there are certain elements like time and draw on liquidity that I need to identify, right? An indicator just pointing out every single unicorn is not acceptable in my opinion. I execute in line with my bias at a certain time. The commodities open is at 9 a.m. So starting at 9 a.m. for oil. Ash, would you disregard the NQ order block as internal? I don't use order blocks for a bias type of. I just don't use order blocks for bias at all. In my opinion, price only does two things. It's either running above a swing high or below a swing low, or rebalancing an imbalance. So I'm only looking at FVGs and swing highs and swing lows. What do you do when NQ and ES are in consolidation? the best way to use a consolidation profile is to use the extremes of the range and target equilibrium. Ready? Right? In consolidation, it's ranging, right? So as soon as you get a deviation of the range, you look for your entry function. You target the opposite side of the range, right? You still use the same entry function, a unicorn, but when price deviates from one of the extremes of the range, use it as a deviation to then target equilibrium or the other side of the range. How long have I been living off of trading? I've never lived off of trading. I've always had multiple sources of income. I've always advised having multiple sources of income is the best way forward, and I still believe that. Your day job pays all your bills. It covers your savings and an emergency fund. And then you go get a side hustle, right? Go drive for Uber. Go waitress at a restaurant on the weekends. That's the money that you fund your trading business with. So if you don't have an FEG within the price range for internal, are you looking at the external? Yeah, like for NQ, right? If you go back to the beginning of this live stream, I had stated that exactly what you're stating right now. Right, external here. We swept it here. Begin to look back internal after the sweep. But since there is no internal, I pointed to the closest form of liquidity, which would be the swing low here. Right? Range trader right there. Exactly what I just explained about range trading. Deviation of the range, move back into the range, and then target equilibrium or the opposite side of the range. You do prop firms or just live account? I have both. I have long-term investments. I have a cash account. I have a crypto account. I have prop firms. You have to diversify, not put all your eggs in one basket. Can inverse fair value gaps and unicorn models be used independently together? You can choose whatever model you want to use. And if anybody ever tells you you can't, then it just doesn't make any sense. If you want to use inverse fair value gaps, be my guest. If you want to use unicorns, be my guest. You just need to have a model, right? You just need to have a plan and execute that plan, whatever that plan is. Hi Ash, going through the live streams and live stream Q&A on December 28th. You mentioned 3 high pattern. Can you please explain? Are you asking about a swing high or a swing low? Right? Are you asking me if I was defining a swing low? High? That's most likely what it sounds like. Swing high is 3 candles in which the middle candle has the highest high and the 2 candles on the side of it have lower highs. What a swing high is. Same thing with swing low. Swing low is a candle that has middle candle is the lowest low and the 2 candles right next to it have higher lows, making it swing low. For anybody that's curious why they can't communicate in chat, you have to sub to the channel. you sub to the YouTube channel, you will be able to communicate with us here in chat. While you're at it, like the video. If you need any other direct communication with me, the links to my Discords are in the description of this video, along with my socials. We are here documenting our journey in this market every single week. For the people that have been with me, they know that I am a New York AM trader. Trade ES and NQ at New York Open. We trade the unicorn model, and you go through my prior live streams, you will see that model being executed every single day. There's also the unicorn model playlist on my YouTube that shows the entry function. And then you should take that entry function and watch the live streams to get the logic for how we execute that entry function. So remember that SMT that I was pointing to earlier when I said I'm no longer willing to short? Your SMT right there. Yeah, I'm providing the logic in real time so you can see how to use the entry function. Right? So for the people that were looking for continuation unicorns lower, you're not looking at the bullish SMT. You have to point out every signature and price because they provide insight to what price is it. So for the people that were, trying to short at the lows, that is also why I sit here and say we short above old swing highs. We don't short below old swing lows. Look at what happened on ES if you did, right? Now back to price. Long below old lows, short above old highs. Would you consider the 954 candle a breaker on it? Yes, I would consider that a breaker. I agree with that, yes. Hi Ash, how do you deal with the account activity rule? My funded futures is the only one that has an inactivity rule. So just make sure you're taking a trade one time within a week. Won't have to deal with the inactivity rule. Very good job for pointing out this breaker here. After it was confirmed, we got a nice comment, which might even be 2R. Not yet, but halfway there. Chris, I don't use inverse fair value gaps. Like I said, if you'd like to, be my guest, but I don't. All right. Any other questions or comments? Feel free to throw it in chat. Once again, if you're looking to communicate with us, you got to sub to the channel. Sub only for the chat. Ash, based on your data and unicorns you post happen in London session, what time do they usually occur during the London session? I execute my model at or after the opening times. So London Open is at 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just like how New York Open is 9:30 to 12. All right, so if there's no more questions or comments, I'll begin to wrap it up. I got my move lower to the previous day low. ES created SMT at that previous day low, as we then pointed out there. We didn't get an entry function 2-hour draw on liquidity, which is completely fine, but I create a plan. After the plan has been created, I execute that plan. Depending on the results we get from the plan, determines whether I'm done or not for the day. So seeing that we got a result to the information, price did move lower to the draw on liquidity. After it took liquidity, it provided SMT, heading back into the range. I'm not looking to deal with anything else, right? I don't need to create another plan. I don't need to make another analysis. Showed up for the opening time. Got a result to my game plan. And now I move on to the next day. Looks like there's a couple more questions. Ash, do you think you will use stat map as directional factor in future? Nope. Just watch today's live stream. I explained exactly how I will be using it. Nothing changes for my model. It is simply just a higher time frame level for myself. Do I always look for 5-minute SMT? I look for SMT on any time frame. Any time frame, if there's SMT that provides information. So, for anybody that's asking about the stat map, we are going to be having an interview with an individual that has been collecting research on the stat map. That is going to happen next week. If you need a quick little brief overview of it, rewatch this video as I already gone over the stat map during the beginning of the video. DeBell, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but I don't appreciate you saying that because that is not true. So what question are you asking? You don't even, you said, why don't you answer this? What is this? I really don't appreciate you saying that, considering there's 400 people in here. So trying to get to every single question is hard because chat moves so fast. So like to know me what the question is, then great. Looks like I might have found it. Hi, Ash. There is IRL on ES. Price can go down. Again, please check it. Is that a question or is that a statement? Okay, so no answer. If I guess I'm being trolled or something. I don't know. I'm gonna close up shop with that. Tried getting to everybody's questions. Got our analysis for the New York Open. Very happy with the analysis. I will be moving over to the Discords after that. So if you want to continue the conversation, I will see you guys in Discord. Hope you all have a great day. Until next time.